Oh,
I don't
yeah.
see what you're talking about. So
Yeah, it's all good. I got it. No worries. Went ahead
Let's
and
go.
started it.
Let's go.
Welcome back.
What's up?
I will
Hello.
address the elephant in the room.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I have a different camera angle.
Oh,
Brett has still played no
That's-
game since the last episode.
this is these are both true statements. This is
Yeah.
I
this
have
is true.
still
Actually,
not played Metal Gear.
I have kind of played a somewhat new game.
Is
Sort
it
of.
Batman?
No,
Brett.
it's not bad. It's not Batman. Actually, it's some would say the opposite of Batman. It's Fortnite. Played a little
Batman's
bit of Fortnite.
in Fortnite.
Batman is in Fortnite.
It's the
I
guy
actually
from
have
Fortnite.
Oh yeah, Batman from Fortnite.
Dude,
Oh, God.
Fortnite actually has so many collab skins.
Yeah.
They've got like John Wick and Optimus Prime now, and they've got so many.
Yeah, the last
So
like 2
many.
or 3 days, Brett and I both have been playing Fortnite again. No build mode because we're boomers.
Yeah, I can't keep
Okay.
up with the Zoomer mind. I can't do it.
That's when I stopped playing.
It's it's a lot of fun. It's hard. The movement's so much different because we've also been playing like a lot of BattleBit that has some of the best movement in current video games, in my opinion. So
Facts.
Yeah, it's a little
still
weird.
have yet to play it.
I didn't explain this. My camera angle is different because I I hooked up my old monitor, which is a 1080p 240 hertz, and I wanted to pull it in closer, and I couldn't with my old mic stand, so I had to switch it to like a standalone stand and then put it in the back because it can't sit directly behind my monitor because of the monitor arm. So we're a canted view now.
Mine has not changed.
Yeah.
If anyone cares.
That's probably for the best. You have unfortunate luck when it comes to technology, so you probably shouldn't change anything. if it's
I
working.
shouldn't touch anything on my setup ever again.
It's true.
Yeah. So, what's the topic this week, boys?
I think we got a good one, in my opinion. It
It's
was
a good one.
suggested by Brett himself.
That was me.
It is oh, I clicked on the wrong one. It is games that have
That
like kind of like flipped a genre into like high gear, essentially, where it's like what can we do to hold on, you need to explain this because I just noticed something broken. Actually, you know what?
Oh,
Cut all
okay.
this shit out because I need to fix. I see. Okay, I fixed it. I had a little green
I'm not
bar.
cutting any of this out, by the way. I'm cutting
I
none
had
of
the
this
green
out.
bar, the green Discord bar at the bottom of my webcam. Oh, I forgot to mention this as well. God, I'm so
This
scatterbrained right now.
This freaking guy.
We're changing episode lengths from 2 hours to 1 hour. That's like the main thing. So we're gonna have less discussion. Probably, maybe. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. That's just some of the comments that we've gotten about just episode length in general. But yeah, so anyways, back to full circle, back around. Topic of the day is what games are making the rest of the genre make changes based on how good or bad the iteration of that game is, right? So for an example, my example would be like the battle royale genre was this is gonna be maybe cause some controversy.
Who cares?
I think originally it was on Minecraft with like a Hunger Games thing, but the big like modern shooter battle royale was born from PlayerUnknown's, and that's not PUBG. That's PlayerUnknown's the mod, which was for Arma 2.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the first game. At least maybe I'm wrong, but that's the first game that I specifically remember where it was like you spawn in, you have X amount of time to run around and gather loot. Over time, the circle starts to get, it starts to close in. If you're outside the circle, you take damage. And that was like the most basic iteration of the battle royale genre that I can think of. And then like that got popular, and then I think like battle royale like got like made a bag by someone to make PUBG, and that's pretty much where that came from. So like some of the original battle royales essentially all sparked from that. So like H1Z1, great game by the way.
Never
Great
played it.
game. It's a shame what happened.
Yeah. You have like H1Z1, pub. The green line's back. It's fine. Whatever.
This
Player.
guy.
Yeah. So like PUBG, Fortnite, H1Z1, all the COD ones. Like there's just a numerous amount of battle royales, and I think all of them had made different iterations based on the original. So that's kind of like we
Mhm.
can dive into that later on, but I want these two guys to also say their examples as well.
Right. And just as a disclosure, these are just opinion based. These are not like factual things. We're not trying to like, I guess you could say educate. We're not trying to like, you know,
Yeah, we should probably
give
add
you
a
information you
disclaimer
don't
to the
know.
beginning of our podcast going
Yeah.
forward.
These are just opinions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these are literally all just opinions. I'm sure there are websites that already cover like
Dude,
what actually changed
why-
things. This is just our experiences.
I
Just
had a
heads up.
I had part of the disclaimer, or not even a disclaimer, but it was like an intro thing where it's like Gamers Hollow, like welcome back to Gamers Hollow, the place where everything we say means nothing.
There we go.
Heck
I'll
yeah,
add that
dude.
in.
We're like who's line of podcasts.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway,
Doesn't
sorry,
matter.
Go ahead, Brett, with your example.
Well, you already mentioned the game that I think kind of, I wouldn't even say revolutionized battle royales, and but I would say for me personally, it really what's got me into battle royales, and that's with H1Z1. I think it's H1 Royale now or something. They changed the name of it.
H1Z1.
But yeah. They changed the name.
I think it's just
I think.
Z1.
It probably is now. I don't know. They've changed so many things about it, and I think I remember. Man, I don't even remember what. I think it was like 2015, 2016. That was back when before Warzone even came out. I just remember playing that game just for hours and hours and hours with people, and it was just so much fun. And for me personally, that's what really like set the stage for PUBG, because I'm pretty sure H1 came out before PUBG.
Nope.
Is that not accurate? Okay.
Nope.
Again, opinion based. I don't know anything about timelines or anything. So either way, I think H1 really made battle royales more popular.
Yeah,
because it was a very good game.
maybe it came out before the standalone PUBG, but like the mod, like the mod that ultimately became PUBG, which is a different topic of discussion that we can talk about later, is what came out like, I don't know, whenever Arma 2 was big. That was back whenever Daisy. God, that's another one. Daisy was a mod that became a standalone game. Anyways, Brett.
But before we continue, I just want to point out, I did look it up because I didn't want to gaslight myself, but PUBG, like the actual game PUBG, came out in 2017, and H1Z1 was released in 2015.
Yeah.
So like the standalone games came out, but the mod actually, like you said, came out.
And I could be wrong here. I think H1Z1, like the Battle Royale, was a mod of the other, like of H1Z1 normal.
It probably was.
Maybe
I
not
don't,
a mod,
I don't
but
know.
I know for a fact it was a separate game in Steam, because you had because it was you had like your standalone mode where you could like build a base. It was open world. There were zombies. You could like build a base and like raid other people, and do that. And then they had a multiplayer, which I think was I think it was the Battle Royale.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Tyler-
mode was just significantly more popular. Go ahead, Tyler.
I just see Tyler chilling because I don't think he's really into battle royale. So he's
Well, actually, what was it?
Actually.
So, actually, I bought. I don't know if I bought Fortnite before Battle Royale even was
Oh, the
released
Save
on
the World?
Fortnite, and it was just Save the World. So, and then the Battle Royale aspect of it came out 2 months after that. And I played Fortnite a pretty good amount. And then once people started getting incredibly good at building, and I would build a ramp and they would be building a castle around me, I was done. I was like, this is no longer fun.
I really enjoyed the earlier stages of Fortnite
Yeah, it was
with
fun.
building,
Mhm.
because there wasn't turbo build.
Yeah,
So
and turbo building really
every
made the game.
click was you building, right? So then you had people that like, who was like, I think it was Myth was like one of the best builders back then, and he
Mhm.
would build like a 90 tower, and like
Cranking 90s.
yeah, it wasn't like today's standards. It was like a fucking grandpa, right? But back then it was like, damn, he built that fast as hell because he was clicking everything, and then people started binding building to the scroll wheels, and that like essentially created turbo building. And then like I guess Epic was like, all right, well, let's just put turbo building in the game, and that's whenever all the architects came out and did all the crazy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's why I like
that
no build.
really changed the game.
Like genuinely, I would just play Fortnite, and I would build maybe, I don't know, a handful of things. Like I'd do a 90 every now and then and like ramp rush people every now and then. But for the most part, I just relied on my aim more than anything. So like
Yeah.
you could build all this crazy shit, and then like, cause the the meta in Fortnite changed so much where it was like aim based, and then it was height based, right? So like whoever could build higher and shoot down on you. And then the meta that pushed me out of the game was the edit meta.
Mhm.
That shit was insane. Where people would like, they would build this extravagant fucking skyscraper. I sorry, bleep that out. I said it definitely has not been 10 minutes.
You've cussed a few times.
Oh, my
this
bad.
point.
But they would build this extravagant skyscraper, edit a window, shoot you with a sniper, and then like reset the edit, and then it would be a wall again within like a second. And I'm like, how do you react to this? And like, oh god, like box fighting. Box fighting was actually really fun. That was like the earlier meta in the edit meta.
Yeah.
was like box fighting and stuff, which I actually really enjoyed. I thought that was fun. And then they did the whole coin flip stuff on taking people's walls, because pings were so different. I don't know if you remember that, Brett.
Bretta.
Wait.
Hello, Bretta.
No,
Bretta.
God.
Bretta. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that. Where
I honestly don't. I mean,
yeah,
I
so like there was a
probably
big
do.
like stink
It's
in the community about how people with lower pings can take your walls easier because they would just pickaxe them and
yeah, dude, I'm so
Uh,
dumb. I was thinking like ping as in like you ping somebody
switch.
in
No,
the
no, no.
game.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
MS.
yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
yeah,
then
yeah,
they, I guess, like revamped the system and made it to where it was a coin flip regardless of ping on whether or not you got to keep your wall, which was weirdly like more jarring for me because I didn't know whether or not I put the wall back up. So it became a coin flip on whether or not like I would sit there like because like it was like build a box, and then you put the pyramid or something in the center, right? So that way you would have some sort of cover if they did take your wall.
yeah.
And then
That was the meta for replacing
or the cone.
ramps.
Yeah,
It's
so
easier
then you
to-
would do that, and then you
Mhm.
could like edit the ramp up, and it essentially would like universal stairs or whatever. Anyways, but yeah, so like I would sit there on my cone and just hold left click while they're breaking my wall. And if it broke, I would still hold left click, but there was still like particle effects of the wall breaking before I would know whether or not if I took the wall, like if I replaced mine or not. And by the time I was able to like register in my brain that they took my wall. They had already edited half of it away and shot me with like a pump to the forehead for 150 damage or something. Like there was like it was just so much too much like reactionary stuff for me to get involved with that like I just couldn't play the game anymore.
Right.
You know, maybe if we weren't in our mid-20s, then in our teens, we would be
I mean, I
able
think
to
if we
adapt.
like, I'm actually kind of against that argument, to be honest, because that's a big argument with like Valorant. In like, oh, it's the younger generation players that are taking over, and like boomers can't compete and stuff like that. But like realistically, I think like age for sure probably does have an effect on something, but I think that just means that the older people have to practice more. I don't know if that means that they can't achieve the same things that younger people can. Right?
I mean, I would
Maybe
agree
that's
with
just
that.
copium because I'm 29, but I'm just saying
I
like
think
Yeah,
you're just trying to
it
make yourself
sounds-
feel a little bit better, Daniel. But
Yeah,
but I mean,
that's definitely. I think that's copium.
if you
personally.
also think of like Scump though, who's like the top COD player still, and he's what, late 20s?
yeah, that's on controller.
Okay, I feel like he's
okay. Let's not get into that. Right, not in this podcast. Controller
Not this
versus
episode.
mouse and keyboard. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's
That's a bad idea.
I feel like he's
that's a
still
different
pretty
episode.
damn.
Maybe we'll do that next episode. We'll do controller versus mouse
Maybe.
and keyboard.
I
As
feel like
someone
he's
that
probably
has a
still
good
pretty
amount,
nasty on a PC.
I mean, he is. He's. I think he got
No.
to. I think he got to Immortal in Valorant.
Yeah.
Which maybe that was Nate Shop. Yeah, I mean, same premise, right? They both have a crazy amount of controller experience, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
I
no,
think
what did Scump play? Oh, is H1Z1 actually? I think that was the game that he like opened up keyboard and mouse with and was actually like pretty nuts at it.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I'm just thinking of topics left and right for future episodes now.
Hey, we got a discussion. We got a forum now. Throw them in there.
We do. Okay.
All right, I'll move us to the next genre. Then.
Yeah, I was gonna say we were on.
You should put
Battle
those
Royales
in
for a
there while
while.
we're sitting here, so you don't forget. By the way, just throw them in.
Okay.
So I'll start off with action. So to me, and it's again like this is all opinion based. To me, everything I'm going to say are games that I have played. I'm not going to talk about a game that, I mean, there's so many games before this game that probably introduced and helped push this genre. But to me, for action, I mean, I think Grand Theft Auto 3 helped a lot push it. in
It
a
was
whole nother
definitely one of
direction.
the first open world. Is that an action game?
I mean, I would call it an action game, but
I mean, I know there's action
'cause
in
it-
the game. That's such
I
a
mean, it's
action's
I can
such a
see
weird
it.
genre to me because it's like
Anything could
can
be
action.
considered action. Yeah,
I mean,
But
yeah, that's
but
pretty
no,
true.
I get what you're saying for sure. I think it definitely.
Well, here I'll put these two in. Then I'm gonna combine these two. I looked at it. It's action adventure is what it's called.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, for sure. I think that's definitely true. Grand Theft Auto 3 was
I mean, it came out in 2001.
yeah, I mean that's a big
Wow.
like open world, do whatever you want type of game. And I'm trying to think of like other games that were like what the hell was the little dragon on PlayStation? Spyro?
Spyro,
Right?
dude.
Like
Yeah,
technically
yeah.
that was open world, right? But it was very linear progression.
Mhm.
That
Yep.
was, I think, that was more level based compared to an open world.
Okay, so did it have like a hub, kind of like Super Mario 64?
It's like
I've only played one Spyro game like in my life. I'm just
What?
trying
I have the
Ugh.
collection that they remade them all, so that's the only,
Oh, yeah.
that's the only reason I know. But it's like you start off in one world, and there's like a transport, like a portal that you go through, and it takes you to another level, and you can kind of go back.
Oh,
and,
it's a Crash Bandicoot, dude. Okay,
yeah.
got it.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
So
so good.
there was a, I'm gonna maybe go through like the list one by one, but there was a top 10 list, and they also listed number 10 as the most revolutionary game as Grand Theft Auto 3 because it understood the potential of what you can do with an open world.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
And That's what helped that. What about you guys?
For me,
For
I
action or action adventure?
So okay, I'll do both then. Because I had those two originally for different topics, but you guys can combine that if you want. For adventure, and this is again because I played this game. For me, it was Oblivion. I mean, that was the first game that I got into, and it was just like I could, for the most part, do whatever I want here. Like, and that was the first time I really ever experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
nice. Yeah, I could see those two games. For me, for the action game, I put Halo
Very nice.
because yeah, I mean that's technically considered an FPS and also technically considered a multiplayer. But I
You
think
can have the same game for both topics. That's all right.
yeah, well, I mean I have different games for everything, but yeah, I think for me, Halo was one of those games that was like, man, it's not Call of Duty. It was like I wouldn't even say it was like a rival's Call of Duty, but it was a game that you could play that was not as fast paced as Call of Duty. So it was more
Mhm.
methodical, it was more slow, and it was a lot more. Maybe it was more precision based. I don't really remember playing. I don't think I ever actually played Halo 1. Halo 2 and Halo 3 were like more of the multiplayer games. And for the adventure game, I put Zelda. Never really played any Zelda games, but I personally, I mean, I've heard so many positive, just nothing but positive things about all the Zelda games.
You hurt
And
me.
I think, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are probably like, "What? You've never played a Zelda game?" And I have not. But yeah, I think as far as adventure goes, I think that's kind of hard to top Zelda.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, there's how many games are there out for Zelda
Oh
now?
my
There's
god,
got to be
over
a
20
dozen.
probably
Yeah,
altogether.
Yeah, it just depends
2
on.
dozen.
So there's
30.
because there's like the Minish Cap and stuff on Game Boy, and then they also remade the Minish Cap, and then there's also like four something like four swordsmen or something like that that was meant to be played with like 4-person co-op on like the Game Boy. It might have been like the DS or something like that. It's one of Nintendo's longest franchises, right? So there's a ton of games for it. And as we discussed in our
Yeah.
last episode, Nintendo loves to just bake
Use
the same
3
bread.
characters.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's-
I mean, if it works, I mean, why not remake them? I counted them. There are at least 45
oh,
different
Jesus
Zelda games.
Christ.
That's for Game Boy.
well, there's only one you
and-
need to play, and that's Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah, 45, and it says that includes original titles, ports, remakes, and collections.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is a crazy amount of games centered around like 2
that's
characters,
why, like,
which is crazy.
I hate whenever people talk about like wanting to get into a genre or wanting to get into a specific game, and they're like, well, there's just so many games. I don't want to have to play all of them or whatever.
You don't have to. Most
Like
people don't.
I have this discussion with a mutual friend of Brett and I's about the Resident Evil series, where I'm like, they're like, oh, they look fun, but I don't want to play them because there's 10 of them, and I'm like, well, there is, but you really only need to play like a
Yeah,
handful of them.
So
You can
Like
get
skip
through 2 and
6
3 in,
entirely.
like,
That game is terrible.
you can get through 2 and 3 in like 6 hours.
Yeah, they're very fast. Plus, there's remakes of pretty much all of them that, like, I'm not gonna say they give good story because Resident Evil 3 remake was kind of bad, but like one remake is essentially a 1-to-1 port. I think just with updated graphics. 2 was really good. 3 is kind of like meh. The 4 remake is amazing. 5 is still playable today. Like I think stands up to today's standards. We don't talk about 6. I mean 7's good and Village is good. Like I don't know. Like those are like it depends on if you like the Ethan arc, I guess, or not. But
well, I think people associate games in the same way they associate with movies. You know, if you like, you're not gonna just. Okay, this is like the only example I can think of right now, but think of like all of the Marvel movies. So you could just say, you don't have to watch all of them. Just watch the Avengers movies, and that's all you need to watch. It's like, yeah, but what about it's the journey, you know? It's like you have to watch all of them. You can't just watch, the originals Avengers and then Age of Ultron and then Like you got to
God,
watch it
could
in
you
order.
imagine watching the first Avengers and then just watching Age of Ultron after that?
Yeah, there's a lot of character development, which maybe that's the reason why people don't want to miss out on some story, which I get that. If I was going to play all the Resident Evil games, I would want to play them in order.
Daniel, what's your action game?
To be honest, I don't know. Um, there's just so many that I think like instantly what comes to my head is like the same as shooter, first person shooter, and action, which is like in multiplayer, to be honest, was like Medal of Honor, right? Because that's what I grew up on, was Medal of Honor Allied Assault. That's like I think that game came out in like 98 or something, and like maybe 96, maybe not 96, but like 98, 99. I think it was
Mhm.
99. And it was like it was just it was such a crazy concept for me as like that young of a person. I was 7 years old to just jump into like to double click or put in this IP address and then like boom, I'm in a server with 30 people and we're all shooting each other. Like like that's crazy to me. And then like defining of the genre, like not to say, I don't know if other games took inspiration from this, but I mean like Call of Duty I feel like probably took a fair amount of inspiration from Medal of Honor, the earlier ones, cuz I think we talked about this before, maybe not, but Call of Duty was originally on PC.
I think that was
Um
brought
Mhm.
up, yeah, at one
but I
point.
Call of Duty
think
1, yeah.
the Call of Duty like ecosystem was just more enjoyable for people than the Medal of Honor one. Um because I mean the Medal of Honor games didn't really do all that well afterwards. Like I think people played them, but like the multiplayer scenes and stuff like just weren't that good. From what
Mm-hmm.
I remember enjoying them. I just don't remember why they didn't have a player base. It could have been because EA made them, and we all know EA loves to make great games. Cough Star Wars.
Oh yeah, they never mess anything up.
What? There was
I,
one. Did you ever play Medal of Honor Rising Sun?
Played them all.
Oh my god, that one was so addicting to me.
Yeah, I played that on console actually, on like PlayStation
PlayStation
2.
2. Yep. They tried to reboot that in 2010, right? Medal of Honor, and like it just didn't do
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah, like the game that was just called Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
That's the one that I'm thinking of. That like I don't know why the multiplayer didn't do that well.
Mm-mm.
I remember playing it and it was fun. I think there was just like a couple overpowered weapons or something, and maybe they just didn't balance them in time or something. But yeah, I don't really remember why they didn't do so hot. I mean, it was
I would
probably
honestly,
also during the age of Call of Duty that was just
yeah,
dominating. So
I was gonna say that's actually my shoot the like the revolutionary shooter game is Call of Duty, just Call of Duty in general. I think like if
oh, you
you
don't
think
think
of
any
a
of
first
them?
person shooter,
You don't think any specific Call of Duty like created the stepping stone for other shooters in the genre?
I think Call of Duty just in general has revolutionized FPS just shooters in general. Because like, when you think of a shooter, you're going like Call of Duty is going to cross your mind one
Well,
way
it's
or the
also the
other.
biggest like casual game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's easy for anyone to
Exactly.
pick up and play.
Yeah, I think that's also it's a big thing because I never played any of the Medal of Honor games, but I have to assume that those are more competitive, more
Well, like
geared towards
the
being
older Call of
competitive.
Duty or the older Medal of Honor ones were like you couldn't ADS or anything. Everything it was kind of like Counter Strike esque where you had
Oh,
recoil,
Hmm.
kind of cool.
with like not like a set recoil pattern like Counter Strike is, but like there was like bullet spread, um, and almost this is gonna be a terrible comparison, and I'm sorry for any of the 30-year-olds that played Medal of Honor and but kind of how the Fortnite recoil is now, right? Where there's like bullets spread, and then you just have to pull down your crosshair. That's kind of how it was back then.
Oh, I see. What
That's
did you
what
have for?
I put Call of Duty 2 for shooter. Just because that was my first actual online shooter that I played. And I briefly talked about this in a previous episode where I was just like, calling my dad downstairs because the level of detail that the guns had, and like I've never seen that before in a video game. Like you could see like each gun had a model number on the back of it, and it's just like holy shit! Like they went into that much detail that there's number codes on each gun that you pick up. Like to me, that was just insane.
Yeah, and nowadays they have like anime skins where you could literally just you can see the pores of sweat that come off
Yeah.
the it's crazy the skins that they have
nuts.
nowadays. Yeah,
Um,
that's pretty crazy.
So
I can
this
see
is
that.
this isn't necessarily genre defining. This is more like I guess like graphic designing in a way. Was like one of the really ahead of its time graphic games was Crisis, right? Like
I knew
that's the one
you're.
that everyone talks about.
Yep.
What made me think of it actually was Brett talking about the sweat up like on the people, like Crisis, which was a game that came out. I mean, let me just double check here. It came out in 2007. It had that, right? Like it had the thing where you could see the people's sweat on their faces, and you could see the like whenever a tank would shoot, you could see the um like the heat off the barrel of the gun and stuff like rippling through the air and stuff. It was insane. Not a lot of people could play it because it required so much like
Yeah, the
power in your
meme.
computer, but
You have your great PC, but can it run Crisis?
yeah, and like
That whole
that's like
piece, that
I
whole
feel like
meme.
that's such a cliche thing for me to mention that Crisis, but like maybe some people don't know. I don't know. I don't know who's listening to us.
Well, I've never heard of Crisis.
What?
Never heard of it.
Brett.
What the
Listen,
hell?
dude. Okay, listen.
I wasn't
I'm
even a PC gamer and I knew what Crisis was.
Well, I wasn't a PC gamer until like 2011, 2012. Like before
I
that, it
think-
was Xbox 360.
Yeah. I think another honorable mention would be Half-Life as well. Half-Life 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because those came out.
True.
Didn't the first one come out in the late 90s?
Yeah.
Half-Life
See,
3.
these are all things that I have something that we can discuss later on depending on time.
1998.
Which we're already 30 minutes into this.
Jeez.
But yeah, so I'll just keep the ball rolling. In terms of I don't really know for strategy, so I'll skip that one and go for you guys. But for RPG, to me, is old school RuneScape.
I can see that.
That game, even now, is still so good. It's like
I loved that game.
there's
It
every
was
now and
good.
then I still pay for a membership. Every now and then I'll hop on, train some agility, you know, AFK some sand crabs or something, and just chill out. But like, yeah, that game, like, kind of genre defining in the RPG aspect because you just like, it's one of the first games I played that had like as much like skills essentially that you can level up, right? I mean, you have three different combat abilities that you can level. You can level attack, strength, and defense, and all could somewhat be had to be leveled separately. Um, and then like you could just not use a sword at all and just use magic and be a magic user and level your magic instead, or a bow and stuff. And then like I don't know, that to me is wild. I didn't get too into old school RuneScape actually until more recent. I should recent within the last like 10 years, I guess. I never paid for a membership back then, so it like by telling my parents like, "Hey, I wanted to pay $5 a month for this membership fee," and they're like, "Shut the fuck up, you idiot! Go do your schoolwork."
Same.
And
But you can still play it for free though, which is nice.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
was really
true.
cool, and like I feel like a lot of stuff back then was somewhat catered to the free to play player base. Like there was a lot of quests that you could do on free to play. I mean, great. People are do all of those quests now in like fucking 10 hours or something crazy. Like, but yeah, that to me is like very, very revolutionary in the RPG aspect. And if like for RPG shooters, I was gonna say Borderlands because it's kind of like a subgenre, but
Oh yeah.
Borderlands was like crazy to me
W-
with all the
We
different
were
skill
all
trees and
so
stuff.
stoked when that game came out. I remember that.
Wait, which game?
Borderlands.
Oh yeah.
Never played
Never
it. Go ahead and say it. Go
Ne-
ahead.
Never played it, but I've heard
That
positive
game was
things.
so big when it came out. I don't
Jesus.
understand. We
Listen,
we
I
all
was
played
an
it on the
on-
360.
Brett's
Dude,
level of
I
gaming
like
went from Nintendo 64 to Xbox 360 to modern
true.
PC. Like he played zero games.
Listen, I had a PlayStation.
I was
played
always
Crash Bandicoot.
outside. Yeah,
I
so
was
were we,
outside a lot.
asshole. We still were always playing outside. We just stayed up all night playing video games as well.
But I feel like
Oh.
Borderlands 1 came out like prime 360 days, like 2008, I think.
If it wasn't Call of Duty, Brett wasn't playing it.
If
True.
it wasn't Modern Warfare 2.
That's true.
And he still
Modern
got
Warfare 2
smacked
is
up in
so
those quick
good.
scope
Ugh,
lobbies.
love it. No, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't recall that.
You don't remember me, you, and Don 1v1v1ing?
I
on
just
Rust?
remember just Don destroying us every time. It
He would
was
always do
the
the
most
dumbest
annoying
shit
thing.
too.
And it worked. It worked.
He'd like jump off the
just-
top of the tower, like quadruple YY, 10 sensitivity, 900 like Tony Hawk, no scope us in the forehead. That shit was so dumb.
To answer your question about RPG, because you said yours was RuneScape, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have so many more like Guild Wars and Tibia and all these other. But go ahead.
Yeah, I would probably say, and I wasn't a huge fan of this game, but I feel like it would be kind of criminal to not mention it. Skyrim. I think Skyrim really, really opened it up for a lot of people in that world, in that sense.
Disagree.
'Cause people, I mean,
Did you even play it, Daniel?
Just
Yes,
because
I
you
played
don't
it.
like it doesn't mean that other
Listen,
people
we're talking
dislike
about
it.
games that have defined the genre to make other games make changes based on that game.
And you don't
Skyrim
think
was
Skyrim
the
has
end
done
result
that?
that they've been milking for fucking years, okay? The iteration Skyrim was the
Why are you
iteration.
so against Skyrim?
Skyrim was the iteration from Oblivion, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
I would
Skyrim
probably
was
put
just
Oblivion.
Oblivion 2.
It's
but
a
in the
way more.
mountains.
It's a way more improved Oblivion.
I think he just hates fun.
He something must have happened to him while
No,
playing
nothing-
Skyrim. Like
nothing
you have
happened
some
to me.
sort of
It's
horrible.
It's a
Yeah,
great
I-
speed run.
He got killed by a dragon and never forgave it.
No, those dragons were punks. You
So
just fucking Vusrada those bitches out the sky.
Who's
dude.
right
Right, that's-
That's
Tyler-
I put the one before that. I put Oblivion for mine.
okay, that's fair.
But for strategy, I put Age of Empires. I used to play the shit
Oh,
out of that.
strategy!
Oh,
I got
yeah.
one. Command and Conquer.
Oh yeah, that too.
So
I played that before that.
good, dude. Command and Conquer. Oh, the amount of time. That was like one of the very first games I got on PC where I was just like, I would throw so many hours into this. I never really played any RTS game besides that. It's real time strategy for the homies that don't know.
What used
Yeah,
to make me so mad about those early RTS games is you could only have like 200 soldiers, and I'm like, bro, I want like 1,000. I want to go and
Just try to
destroy
Zerg
my
everything.
enemy. Like,
Which a lot of people would say StarCraft was the beneficiary. However, RTS in general is kind of a dead genre. Sorry for the lovers of RTS. I think they're great games.
they're
There's
very
just-
addicting.
It's a dead genre, unfortunately. Like I wish more people played it. Like Frost. What the hell is that game called? Frost is in the name.
Isn't it just Frost? Like F
No,
R
it's
O
like, I
S
think
T.
it's like Frostbite or Frost. Fuck. Hold on. I'll look it up.
Frostbite is the Battlefield engine.
Yeah, hold on. It's literally in my Steam library. Hold on.
Well, for me,
yeah, go
the
Frostpunk.
strategy game, Frostpunk.
Yeah.
For me, the strategy game.
That's what I was thinking of.
I put Portal 2.
Not Portal 1.
I mean, Portal 1, yeah, I guess
Would that
maybe
be more of
Portal
a puzzle
1,
game,
but
though?
I think it's strategy.
yeah,
I think
it's
strategy and puzzle
technically.
can go hand in hand.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
maybe not. Maybe Portal's kind of a bad example because there is only one way to beat each level, and there's not like a whole lot of strategy behind it. There is different ways to do it. It's just it
Speedrunners
always the
would
same.
disagree.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
Every game is
That's
a
fair.
strategy
just,
game,
they
then.
just clip
Every
through
game.
every wall.
Yeah, that's fair. I honestly, yeah, I don't really have an answer for strategy unless you say Among Us.
It's
which I would
honestly a
agree
very
with.
niche genre to be for real. Like there's
Yeah.
not a whole lot of like very large strategy games anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Back
Yeah.
then, like I think that genre, like that's one of the very early on PC genres was strategy, right? With like Warcraft, Starcraft, like all the mods that became full games after that. Just things like that. It's just yeah, that genre, like it's almost like um with the exception of Counter-Strike and Valorant, like tactical shooters for real, like the arena type
Mm.
tactical shooters, like that's kind of a dead genre as well. There's really only two main games in that right now.
Very true.
What would you consider Quake? Quake is like a fast-paced arena shooter, also a dead genre,
Yeah.
unfortunately. That's like the latest game to try that was Splitgate, right?
Yeah, Splitgate. Yep.
Splitgate was so fun.
And like it
It didn't
had
last
like a
that long.
pretty good player base. It had like 10,000 viewers or viewers, Jesus. Like 10,000 active players and whatnot, and I'm checking the numbers now. It's got
at the
560 currently in game right now, which is crazy. It's got 90% approval rating and everything. Like,
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's a great game. They're just not developing it anymore. They're not updating
well, I think
it.
they are. It's just a very stale. It's just a stale genre. Like,
Nope. And actually, here it says September 2022. The developers announced they had ceased featured development on Splitgate to focus on a sequel created using an
oh,
Unreal Engine
sorry,
5.
I was thinking support. Like they still support it, right? Like there's still
Oh
servers
yeah,
and stuff. Okay, yeah.
yeah. But they're not updating
They're
it
like
anymore.
actively making new content or anything for it.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
they're done with that to making something new.
There was what about Battalion? Would you
That
call
was another like tactical type shooter like CS that was developed by the I think it was Bulkhead Studios that made. They were big fans of Call of Duty Pro Mod, which I know neither one of you have played, but I have played a good amount of Pro Mod. It was like a very, very bare bones version of Call of Duty 4. There's no attachments, no perks. It's all movement and gunplay, essentially, is the game. With like enhanced movement, quote unquote, where it's like you can do strafe jumping and bunny hopping and stuff like that. Like, so it was so much fun. Yeah, so they were
That
big
was
fans of that, and that's exactly the Battalion movement was almost identical to Pro Mod.
it was like I just got a PC. My second game playing that, I freaking got into a lobby with Hex and Nade Shot and like two more of the people, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, he sent me a
It's like-
screenshot of that, and I was like, "You don't even play PC, dude. This is bullshit."
Like I was on it for 5 minutes and I get in a freaking match with him.
Damn, dude, that's like starting T-ball and then just going against professional players, like MLB.
I think he was on
like
their
that. Holy
team.
crap!
I was
okay,
on their
well,
team. I was so I went like people. Dana remember this. I was getting roasted in the chat because I was like 2-30, but that's because I was trying to like pull my stream up and like, oh my god, I'm playing with Nate Shot right now. You know, so it's like half the time I wasn't even playing. Like I was starstruck.
Yeah, that'd be wild. We've Dan and I have kind of encountered well, actually, Dan more so than myself, but we've encountered a few professional players in game.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
I was trying to
Pretty
beat him
pretty cool thing.
personally.
I know you were trying to get in that game that day. You kept trying to get in.
I was, yeah. I was like, "Let me join on you."
All right.
Yeah, well, I like halfway competed in Battalion as well. Like we did like some competition and stuff for it. So it was a lot of
That's
fun.
pretty dope.
That's
Nice.
like my genre of game. Like Call of Duty Pro Mod is like that's my shit. The best game. Like I'm sure I've said this to a couple of my friends off the air here, but Call of Duty is by far like my best game. I play it significantly better than any other game. Like average. Like in multiplayer, it's like average. I mean, maybe it's not that good, and everyone's gonna fucking roast me for it. But like 2.0 KD and stuff, like that to me is just a game that I can just like just mess around and still be pretty good at. So that's like
Mhm.
Pro Mod was. I wish it was. I wish it was more. I wish it was more popular. There's actually a game being developed right now called Pro Mod. Or maybe maybe it already came out. Hold on, double checking.
While he's checking that, what'd you guys put for survival horror games?
Ho, ho, ho.
I put
I
Resident
put
Evil just because I'm a fanboy.
Yeah, I also
I
put
don't.
Resident Evil.
I actually don't even know. Uh, I don't even know if you can consider Resident Evil survival horror.
I would consider that survival horror.
Because there's not really any survival element to it other than you have a health bar.
I mean, and the items that you pick up and stuff, like ammo
Well,
and
it's linear progression though.
Yeah, isn't it more like a puzzle? Like a puzzle kind of
Yeah,
game?
it's more like a puzzle game. It's more like genuine. Like I've had this discussion with other people in the past. Like
Hmm.
survival horror to me is like, um, I don't even know, like The Forest, I guess.
just so you know, whenever
I know what it's
type in
classified as
survival
there,
horror
Tyler.
Daniel Turner, it comes up as Resident Evil's all over this.
I don't agree.
You put it as it though. What do you mean you don't agree?
I know
I put
because that's what it's defined as in the genre,
Yeah.
right? But I don't necessarily agree that it's a survival horror game. I think that there are other games within that genre that are more defining. So here, let me type in. I mean, I'll just go this real quick. Let me go to the store page and look at other games.
So I googled just survival horror game, and I see a lot of like I recognize a lot of games,
Oh my
but
god,
none
that's a
of
big
them.
spider. Hold on.
headphones are off and everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he took off. Yeah, for the listeners and the watchers, he is not a spider person at all. It's actually one of his worst fears. So
He actually just he has left the podcast. He ran out of his room.
yeah, he was screaming. I don't know if you could hear that. But he was terrified.
What did you put, Brett?
I also put Resident Evil.
Oh yeah,
But
you did.
I never played those games. But I mean,
Okay.
we're in an age now where Twitch and YouTube and things are so prominent. Where if you're interested in a game, all you have to do is just type the game, and then type gameplay after that, and you're gonna find just hundreds of videos of
Right.
people playing just that game. So like I've seen a bunch of speedruns for it. I've seen, because I'm a big speedrun person. Like I love watching speedruns. I think it's awesome to watch people break games in the way that they do. And Resident Evil is definitely in that category.
Yeah.
Especially for the newer ones.
I think he's coming back.
Oh yeah, he's back. He's
Did you kill it?
Spider's dead.
Never forget.
I
hate
think I would say
spiders.
apparently.
Yeah. I've never seen someone get up so fast.
I think like you moved and your headset stayed in the same place.
You're like a cartoon.
Oh my god. You guys are ridiculous.
I put Amnesia for mine. To me, that was such a
For
awesome
survival
game.
horror?
Yeah.
See,
I can see that.
I think that and like what's the one with the phone? Outlast?
Yeah, Outlast.
Yeah.
I would say Dead Space is in there as well. I love that game.
Oh,
But it's also like fairly linear in progression as well.
It is.
Like have you played Dredge?
That game is so good.
Have you played it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's I kind of like I would consider that more survival horror, or even like I guess the games that I'm thinking of, Brett, are like Raft,
Mhm.
but with a horror element behind it.
Oh, so like the original H1Z1, like
Yes.
the very first
Yeah, or
iteration of
like
it. Got
DayZ,
it.
right? Where you have
Got
to
it. Yeah,
like
yeah.
you have to maintain resources and stuff to. Sorry, I would be fucking nervous all night that there's gonna be a spider. I
Yeah.
hate spiders.
How did
Like
it get in, man?
I'm in a garage, bro. You can get in
what,
anywhere.
like the forest, stuff like that.
Yeah, the forest.
Yeah.
Uh,
What was that
See,
game with the
but I also
Slenderman? What was that game?
I
yeah,
think it's called
Slenderman.
Slenderman.
Was that just a Slenderman game? Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
mean it was
thought
some.
had a name
It was
for
an
it.
indie game.
But we're also talking about like the ones that help kind of pave that path as well. So like all these games could have taken stuff from these games that we're talking about. Like obviously Resident Evil was revolutionary in that genre as far as horror
Yeah,
in
well, like
general.
so in terms of Resident Evil, the genre that's classified with, I more put that in line with Silent Hill, right? You ever play those games? Because those
Yeah, I
are
played
very,
one.
very similar in
Mhm.
play style. But like survival horror for like so if you compare Resident Evil and Silent Hill to The Forest, very different games, right? But I mean, these are all like
Yeah.
subcategories. We're like a Netflix catalog, just listing all these different things. But
All right. So you guys say Resident Evil. I put Amnesia. What'd you guys put for multiplayer? Let me guess, Daniel. You said Medal of Honor.
no, actually, well, I mean that is one for sure. But multiplayer for me was uh probably Guild Wars.
Oh.
I see that.
That was the first game where it wasn't like I didn't just put an IP address in or whatever. I created a character and it dropped me in a world with thousands of other people that are just also running around doing like the same stuff as me,
Mhm.
which is really cool. And that was the
Yeah.
first game that like Guild Wars was one of the first games where like me or like my dad and I had separate accounts and we would play at the same time, like join each other's party and go out questing together.
That's
which
cool.
which uh which I think was like a big like nostalgic thing for me, I guess. So yeah, like doing that stuff kind of defined multiplayer for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're kind of mixing topics here because it's like what that's like most meaningful to me. But I think Guild Wars paved the road for a lot of other MMORPGs
Mhm.
um in terms of like the questing, the character progression, the I mean the level. It was one of the first games I think that you could cross train, so you could be like a warrior mage. Um, which I don't think are what the classes were called. I can't really remember. I think like Mesmer and Elementalist I think were the two like mage type classes, but yeah, so um you could do like a ranger Mesmer where you're like a ranger that uses bows and a pet and stuff, but you could also like hex stuff, which was like that to me. Like there's not a whole lot of other games that do that, um, except for maybe Guild Wars 2. But
Yeah.
I never really got into Guild Wars 2. But yeah,
Okay, that's fair.
That's
But
big for like multiplayer for me.
keep in mind again, this is all opinion based, like based on our experiences. This is not like factual evidence. I'm sure that, like I
Everything
said,
I say
there's
is fact.
okay. Well, I'm just gonna move on from that because that's just not true. This guy doesn't. He hates Skyrim. He thinks it's a bad game.
That's not what I said.
No,
I find
I
it
heard you.
boring.
You have made that very clear.
Yeah. Move on from grumpy turn dude.
Tyler, what did you put for multiplayer?
I put Call of Duty 2, of course, and then also Call of Duty 4 as well. It was like a
Ooh,
tie
yeah.
between those two because I feel like Call of Duty 4 that introduced perks, that introduced really customizing your guns in Call of Duty
Well,
Online.
is this genre defining for shooters or is it genre defining for multiplayer, right? Like what did COD 4 for me COD 4 in multiplayer aspect was like one of the games that really paved the road in getting all your friends in the same lobby and just kind of destroying each other, right?
Yeah, I mean that was my experience. Like now, after I played Call of Duty 4, if a game didn't have what that had, like I didn't want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah,
was the
I
whole
agree.
like, yeah, playing with your friends was a lot of fun in that one. Being able to do private matches and like, I mean, we used to do this, Daniel, make videos like when we were teenagers and like try to find glitches and shit in the levels where you could get out of the levels. I don't know. There was just a lot of, there was like a
Made a
lot of
couple prank ones as well.
Yeah, we did. We'd
Like
like,
lay down in this corner and knife the wall.
oh
And
my God,
we would camera edit, like we would cut it, like in like the same
as we
animation
were
of the
knifing it.
knife. Yeah, that it would like we would like pause the recording, run over in some glitch spot that you could get to a different way, and then hit play and do the same animation and then splice it together so it looked like knifing this wall would teleport you to this like random location.
Mm-hmm.
God, we were stupid.
Yeah, we were.
I never experienced that because like I didn't get into Call of Duty until I guess maybe it was like really late World at War and then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
I thought you were gonna hit us with I didn't have any friends.
Like, damn.
I had friends. I just didn't have gamer friends,
Mm,
which may have been
you had
a part of
casual
the reason.
friends.
Yeah, I had friends that played outside.
People, what do they do at
Most
night?
of the time.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what do they just go home and sleep? The
I
idiots.
slept. Yeah, it was a
They
normal
go in. eat
We
dinner
would
at
go
6 and go to
outside.
bed.
I remember distinctly going outside in my trailer park and playing like reenacting Inuyasha in real life with like big ass sticks and just doing stupid shit, just doing dumb stuff for 9 hours, playing in the creek, stuff that you really shouldn't let your kid do, and then like going home when the lights came on and hopping in Call of Duty lobbies with all the same people I was just playing outside with and
Mhm.
just shit talk people for another 10 hours and then go to school.
With no sleep.
Yeah, with no sleep and then sleep in all my classes. And then because like we didn't really get into like multiplayer gaming until like early it was probably like middle school, right? Like middle school into high school.
Yeah,
That was
Call of
like
Duty
whenever Xbox 360 came out. And when did Xbox 360 come out?
2005.
2005,
Wikipedia?
yeah.
2005? Okay.
Yeah, we had that discussion an episode or two ago.
Yeah,
And
so
you
like
didn't believe us.
a lot of the
It's just
a lot of the early Xbox games weren't necessarily multiplayer based, or at least my friends didn't play them multiplayer. I also didn't get an Xbox until like 2006 anyways. Cuz I
So a year
remember
later.
yeah, so shut up. I stop listen, I know I got it wrong. But yeah, no, like one of the first games I got was Gears of War, right? Which was like that game was big for me. Like I played that game so much.
That was a big one.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, for multiplayer for me, I put it's not really I guess it's definitely multiplayer, but it's not like it's not defined by just being multiplayer game. So I put Left 4 Dead.
That's a good one.
And yeah, so the reason I put that is because I think that was one of the very first like zombie games where you would just load in, play with a bunch of friends and just kill zombies. You know,
I'm
pill
a
shit.
sucker. I'm a sucker for zombie games in general. A lot of
That was
people
such
think
a
it's
good
played
game.
out.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, there's zombies in the game," and I'm like, "Oh hell yeah, there's zombies in the game." I'm about to actually today. I almost re-downloaded World War Z because I didn't
Really?
I didn't put that much time into it. But I remember having fun with it. But I think there's a I think there's another one out right now. Isn't it like World War Z Aftermath or something like that?
I think so, but I never understood that either. It's like, oh, another zombie game. It's like, okay, do you say the same thing? Oh, another people game. Like I gotta fight people.
Another
Like,
people.
do you say
people
that with that?
God,
but yeah, I think,
why
I
are we
think
putting humans in games anymore?
I know.
Starfield, another space game.
Yeah, I think people are just complaining nowadays about zombie games just to complain. You know, it's just like, oh God, this. I mean,
Yeah.
people just find a reason to not like it. But I really do think Left 4 Dead really changed the game as far as zombie games go.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Back for Blood?
Yeah,
I did not like that one.
Yeah, it was alright.
I played the beta. It was made by the same people that made Left 4 Dead 2, I think, right?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Part of the same development team or whatever.
I don't know why that is didn't make Left 4 Dead 3, but you know.
Well, I
I think it's
technical
because
reasons
of
for
the
that.
studio, right? It's a different
Copyright
studio.
issues and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they
Doesn't Valve wait? Who owns Left 4 Dead 2?
Yeah, it is Valve. Isn't it?
Valve. Yeah, Valve.
Where have they been, by the way?
Making CS2.
They had so many good games.
Yeah,
Where's
they gotta
Half-Life
do
3?
They got to do a whole lot for CS2. Sorry.
Listen, they're making bank from Counter-Strike,
Yeah, it's a
so
whole
they don't have
different-
to do anything.
It's a different publisher and developer. Back for Blood. Turtle
Hmm.
Rock is the developer, and Warner Brothers is the publisher.
Gotcha.
So
But
that's
yeah, I'm not
probably
surprised.
why they couldn't do Left 4 Dead 3.
Yeah, I'm not surprised Valve doesn't do anything else because they make so much money off of Counter-Strike. There's no reason to do anything else.
Yeah, I mean, it took Valorant to come out for them to actually start iterating their game and all, right? Like being able to-
Allegedly.
Yeah, well, I mean, conveniently, like, oh, sorry, we've been working on selling your weapon once you accidentally buy one for the past 12 years. My bad. Let's push that. Let's push that out now. Of course.
Ameno, Gaben. Thank you.
Like,
Ameno.
come on now.
Going back to COD 4 as well, I forgot to mention this. Also, the ranking system, I loved the prestige.
Yeah,
I
the
love that.
progression. The progression
That
was
was so good.
I agree.
Prestiging is so good.
Like there
I
was.
just remember.
Oh, dude, and the camos.
Yes, the
Ugh.
camos were the red and blue tiger were so good.
Or like
Oh,
I was
dude.
thinking the gold camos, like
And the
getting
gold camo was
getting a
good.
gold SVD or getting the gold AK-74 or 47 and like any of those were like so. Oh, that was so cool.
I don't know why back then getting a gold gun was such a big deal, but then now it's not.
Well, because
Yeah, it's
gold
like-
is the baseline now.
Well,
Yeah.
even like if you see people with like what's the highest one now in Call of Duty?
Obsidian?
Dark Matter.
Oh,
I think
Maybe.
Dark is it
Dark Matter
or
might be
Obsidian?
from Black Ops
Dark
4.
Matter. Yeah. Dark Matter was Black Ops 4. I'm pretty sure it's Obsidian.
But even
No,
now, like if I saw
or the-
someone with that, it's like, okay, that's
Well,
kind of cool.
Damascus was the last Call of Duty, right? Or the last
that's
Modern
right.
Warfare.
Maybe.
I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think it's Obsidian. Obsidian's just all black.
Yeah,
Mm.
probably. I don't know. I
But,
stopped
yeah.
caring about.
But either way, yeah,
about
no,
skins.
I
That part was
Oh, dude.
something about like just getting a new symbol and like restarting. There's just something so refreshing about it.
it's true. I
Yeah,
remember,
and I. Oh, go ahead.
I remember whenever Brett switched to Modern Warfare 2 on the PC, and he was like, "Okay, it's a fresh start. I'm gonna progress all the way back up. I want to get to 10th prestige, level 55. It's gonna be, or is it 55 or is it 70?
Level 70.
Yeah,
55
okay,
is Black Ops.
Yeah, so 55 is also COD 4.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was 50. Is it
might be
55?
thinking of Halo.
Either way.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
It's like,
matter.
I'm
Don't
gonna get
matter.
10th prestige, level 70, progress all the way on for my new playthrough here. And it's like his third lobby he got in was a modded lobby. He killed one person, 10th, like max rank 10th prestige. Every
10th
challenge
prestige,
unlocked,
Yeah,
every
all
gun
the
camo,
skins,
everything.
So Brett, you did get there. Good for you.
Yeah, I did it. Great.
Yeah,
I was so annoyed.
He was
I
very
so
annoyed by that.
Was
and
that
I'm
like at the
I was so
beginning of the
annoyed.
game?
No,
Like was it
was
modded that quickly?
No, it was. He came to PC Modern Warfare 2 like way late.
Yeah.
I think it may even been whenever like Warzone was already out, or maybe Black Ops 4 or something.
Yeah, I streamed it pretty heavily like 4 or 5 years ago.
Got it.
That's how we
Um,
got
Good
which
old
his.
days.
Yeah, that's how we got his Twitch following. Mainly was Call of Duty on
This is
PC.
true. Even nowadays, I'll stream and then I'll have a person that watched me back then come in and be like, "Man, I miss your Modern Warfare 2 streams," and then they leave
Yeah, get off
because I'm not
this-
playing it anymore.
Get off this shit game. Whatever you're playing right now.
Get off any other game besides MW2.
Yeah. Oh, well, that I honestly I feel like Modern Warfare 2 is like one of the best multiplayer games. I don't want to like go into a tangent because we still have other genres to talk about, but
Yeah, we're also over an hour.
that's fine.
We'll speed these other two up. It's
Yeah, yeah.
It's better than
it'll be
over
fine.
2 hours.
Dude, I keep
Yeah.
drinking. I see a spider, and it's
Oh, you mean that behind you?
shut up. Move on.
What'd you guys put for FPS?
So I didn't for me personally, I never played this. Shocking, I know. I put Doom. I think
Okay.
Doom was
Okay,
very genre.
I would say
defining.
that's a good one.
that is a
Yeah.
very good one.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think that's like almost globally agreed upon that Doom
Yeah.
was like the starter of that. So that's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, I have Halo CE or Halo 1. Sorry,
Okay.
I can see that.
I have the hiccups. Yeah, I think it was just one of the first like big first person shooter games that kind of like exploded the gaming market. It got into a lot of people's hands and kind of got them like interested in the genre, I think, and maybe even gaming as a whole. Plus it was on PC as well as Xbox. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much to say other than that. I think yeah.
That's fair.
What I think is crazy about Halo is how much it blew up, yet it was released on a console that had one of the worst sales in console history, which I thought was kind of crazy.
Yeah,
and that game
Xbox.
still, yeah.
So big, dude.
I mean, it is a big console, but like that sold like 24 million, but then PlayStation 2 sold like 200 million, if not more.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
those are different markets as well, though. Xbox
And it was Xbox's
primarily
first console.
Xbox was primarily in North America, yeah,
Right.
and while Sony's a Japanese company.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I put GoldenEye for mine as the
Ooh.
FPS,
Yeah.
but
that's a good one.
I kind of have mine like in a line. I have GoldenEye. Although I didn't play the first one, I knew the significance of it, which is the first Counter-Strike, and then Halo 1, and then I have Call of Duty 2. But first,
Yeah.
I have GoldenEye. I didn't actually play Halo until the third one.
What
'Cause
the
I didn't
never
I
played
didn't have
Halo
an
1 or 2?
Xbox. No, I played them later on when the
Oh,
collection
okay.
came
I
out.
thought you mean
But
you still haven't played them.
no. 3 was just the first one, but I remember playing that with my cousins for like 5 hours, 6 hours. It was so much fun.
If I play that now, I'm playing 5 minutes and I'm bored.
Oh my god, yeah, there's no way I could play it now.
I don't know, like
I don't even understand how we played on a Nintendo controller. One
yeah,
analog
I don't
stick.
know. Yeah, one analog stick aiming
how
with
did
the
we do
C
it?
buttons, right? Wasn't that how you aimed? Yeah.
I think so.
Oh my
They
god.
had the goofy yellow buttons, like the yellow arrows,
Yeah,
and they had
that's the C buttons. Actually, I think you might have turned. Like there was no strafing, right? You just
I don't think
turned,
so.
and then I think you shot with the Z button in the back. God, it's been so long.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember the Nintendo 64 controller. The C buttons were always like the camera. I don't know if that's how it worked for GoldenEye,
Oh yeah.
but
Or
I
Navi in
forgot.
Zelda, which you wouldn't know. Bruh.
yeah. Who Megalol?
Shut your
Who's
mouth.
Navi?
Shut your mouth.
What'd you guys
we,
put for
um,
stealth?
Yeah. Oh, easy for me, dude.
Let's see if we have the same answer.
Easy.
Yeah,
I know
we
what
might
you
all
have, right?
we
You
might
have
all-
Splinter Cell, probably.
How did you know that?
Oh, god damn, I'm good.
I also put Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Dude, those
So
games were
I
so good.
have Metal Gear
Yeah.
and also Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell was so good.
But it's also a very niche genre. There's not a whole lot of like quote unquote stealth games. I do think Splinter Cell was more I'm just a Metal Gear fanboy, so it's kind of why I put that in there, but realistically, I think Splinter Cell kind of shaped the genre and like let me climb up this wall or this hallway and like split legs, hold myself from wall to wall, right? And like hide in the darkness and like all this other crazy shit. Like I think that was one of the first games that actually really used like lighting and stealth into.
Yeah, I remember I played
You could like
the
shoot the
original
lights out and
one.
shit. Like,
Yeah, on like on PC, I replayed one of the very first ones, and it was like, yeah, you have to like shoot the light. The light swings, and as it casts a shadow, as the light swings, you have to like move with the light. It was nuts. I'm like, what am I playing right now? This is a game in the early 2000s.
yeah.
You know what's crazy? You talk about that nowadays, so it sounds like nothing, but that must have been so crazy when the first
Yeah,
came out.
it was
Like,
nuts.
holy, yeah, that's insane to think about.
Or like, I don't know, I forgot. I thought like if he shot, he also caught the bullet shell as well to not hit the floor. Or was that Metal Gear? I thought one of the games did that.
There was
Either
I think there's a cutscene in Metal Gear where that's a thing. I don't know if it's like active gameplay or not.
I thought it was in one of them. I could be completely wrong, but it's like
That'd be nuts.
they shot and caught the bullet, caught the shell to not hit the ground and make a noise.
I think in Metal Gear 3 is maybe what you're thinking of. There's a lot
Could
of
be.
weird bullet shit with Ocelot in that one.
Yeah.
Well, that was our last category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
so
have another topic, but we can save it for next time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, 2 hours, is it really that long?
Well,
That's
it's,
pretty- that's-
it's
that's a long-
not
that's a
long
long
to
time.
talk,
It's a long time.
but it's long to listen, you know?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
it's a long
that's the
time.
difference.
Yeah, that's
all right,
Who
then
wants to listen
really
to us
quickly,
for 2 hours? It's fucking annoying.
I had a very, very quick list. I'm gonna run through it and not like really get too much into it, but it's about this and like the top 10 games that help revolutionize certain genres. So
Okay.
you're gonna love this one, Daniel. The first one is Metal Gear, and it's because it was a revolutionary influence on video game storytelling.
Oh,
G-
so true. Sorry, go ahead.
GTA 3, which was the potential of an open world game. The Binding of Isaac, which pushed modern day roguelike games.
Yeah. Little action RPG as well.
Battlegrounds. Yep. Battlegrounds for Battle Royale. Dark Souls for action RPG. Minecraft was just action adventure game.
Yeah. What Minecraft will also be like technically a sandbox game, right?
Yeah, that as
You can
well.
just do whatever you want.
Just a shit game, you know? I'm just kidding. I like
Jesus.
Minecraft. I'm just trolling.
Man, how
Um,
you gonna lie to us? That's crazy.
The Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall for focusing strongly on player freedom and exploration, which we all know what the Elder Scrolls is. Halo and Doom, of course, for FPS for obvious reasons. EverQuest for MMORPG. And then The Legend of Zelda for action and adventure as well.
Yes.
The
I can see that.
original one, the first Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
All right, that's
was
all I
on,
got.
Yeah, I think that's everything. Got to wrap this up pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, I guess sneak peek topic for next episode. I
I don't even
have
know what it is.
I have the topic is mods that became full games. And are they better? Question mark. Stay tuned and find out this next episode of Gamers Hollow.
Wow,
Podcast.
really reel them in.
Wow, yeah. Yeah.
I was trying to go like Dragon Ball Z vibe, you know.
Never
But,
seen it.
But yeah, so that's just one topic. We don't have to talk too long on that one, because I think with these being hour-long episodes, we probably already have our next like 3-month set for topics. So
Probably.
but
Okay.
yeah, so anyways, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed, if you didn't, tell us in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike.
Please tell
subscribe.
tell
What's
them
the
how much you hate it.
Oh god, my mouse is on the wrong monitor. What's the Spotify equivalent? Is it just a like or heart?
5 stars.
Five
Rate us 5
stars? Is
stars.
that what it is?
I think so. Yeah.
I
Rate
have
us
no
5
idea.
stars.
Yeah, I don't know.
Smile.
Do
I'm
that.
not sure.
Do
I
that
honestly
thing.
I don't
also
pay attention to that part of it.
Or rate us 1 star if you want. You know, give us.
Why are you encouraging people to
I
leave us
just want them
dislikes
to
and
give
hated
their
comments
true
and 1
rating.
star?
Give us a true rating. Tell us truly what you feel in the comments. You can write a comic if you want.
What's that? The Talladega Nights. If you don't,
If you're not first,
like
you're
5
last.
stars,
You're not
then fuck
first,
you.
you're last.
Oh, I do. Yeah,
If you
I
don't,
do
if
that
you don't
shit.
chew Big Red, then fuck you.
Thank you, baby Jesus, for making this podcast.
It's after 10 minutes.
happen.
Okay.
Okay.
Peace
All
out.
right, well, see ya. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.